So the prefix sub has two major meanings. The first one, we use it to describe something's position: under, below. And another example that we use is we use sub to describe a secondary meaning. Something that happens after, something that is less important. So this one is the one thing. So primary means something that is very important, and secondary is it's pretty important but not as important as something that is primary. The first example is way, and this is pretty straightforward. A way is a road. So like you're going on a way to something, right? And when we put sub in front of this one, and this has the meaning of below. So we have a road, and beneath that we have another road, and we use that word subway to describe that. So subway, that's pretty straightforward. And here are other words that we use in the United States and also in the United Kingdom. There are two words that we describe a subway. Subway is a global term, but in Canada or in United States, we use the word metro to describe a subway. And in the United Kingdom, we use the word tube a lot. Tube. That's pretty weird, isn't it? Okay. And the second example is marine. Marine. And marine has the quality of sea, relating to sea. So any creature, any animals that live in the sea, we call them marine animals, marine creatures, okay? And we also call soldiers who are for fighting in the ocean, we call them marines as well, right? So when we put sub in front of this one, it becomes under. So literally, it means under the sea. Under the sea. Submarine. Submarine. So if you visualize the image of a vessel that floats beneath the sea, we call it a submarine, right? Okay. Okay. The third one I would like to talk about is the word mit. M-I-T. M-I-T. And this one has the meaning of to send, and it's a Latin word. And any words that has the root word mit, M-I-T, has something to do with the action sending. For example, if we combine these two, trans means across. So you're sending something across a land or continent, you're transmitting a signal. Or we could put remit, R-E, re means again. So I sent you money and you're giving me that money back. I remitted that money. And if we put sub in front of this one, submit, and this one becomes under. So think about your homework, and you've been given an assignment, and on your due date, you take that assignment and give it to your teacher, right? So you submit, you give it under the desk or under the door. So submit is to give something, usually assignment or application, before or on the due date. So that's what submit means. And in Canada or in the United States, we use other synonyms. For example, we use the word hand in a lot. So basically, we use our hands to give the homework physically to another person, right? So we use the word hand in a lot. And the next example I would like to talk about is standard. Standard. So when you say something has a standard, that it means it has a certain level of quality. So meet the standard. Meet the standard is another popular phrase that we use all the time. So this vegetable does not meet the standard. Therefore, it cannot be sold on the market. Okay. So if we put sub in front of this word, this one becomes under again. So substandard basically means it does not meet the level of quality. So this iPhone or this smartphone is substandard. Then what do you have to do? You return it, right? You ask for a refund because obviously the machine was not made properly. Okay. Another synonym that we use instead of substandard is below par. Par is average or below average. Okay. Okay. So the next example that I want to talk about is subsidiary. Subsidiary. What does it sound like? It sounds like to me that it comes from a word sit. So basically subsidiary means to sit or to be in a place. Subsidiary. And when we put the word sub in front of this one becomes secondary. So not under, this one becomes secondary. So basically this one subsidiary means something that is not as important as the first one or the primary. So this one is not primary but secondary. Okay, something that is less important. Less important. So I can say my major is English. So that's what my major is. So my major is like English, but I'm learning Spanish as a subsidiary subject. I can do that, right? And another example could be I'm working as a teacher, but I also do stock investment as a subsidiary job. Okay, so my primary job is a teaching profession, and my subsidiary, my secondary profession is investor. So that's one of the applications that I could use the word subsidiary. Okay. All right. So the next one is very useful because it involves this root word, scribe. Scribe. And this word is actually used a lot. And basically this one means scribe to write. Okay. And if we put sub in front of this one, sub means under. So basically you are writing something under another thing. And what does that mean? What does that mean? I mean, you could have a newspaper, for example. You could subscribe to a newspaper, and we use to after subscribe a lot to describe before a noun. So I subscribe to a channel. I subscribe to a YouTube channel. I subscribe to a newspaper magazine, or I subscribe to a Google monthly service. And I can subscribe to many things. And basically subscribe to means to receive regular service. Whether it is a newspaper or a YouTube channel, anything that offers regular service, I can subscribe to, and which is very important, right? And another popular use that involves scribe is we could say prescribe. So pre means before, and when we say prescribe, then it's basically your doctors giving you directions of the types of medicines before you actually take them. So before, right, prescribe. And we can also use inscribe. So inscribe, when we want to inscribe a letter into my wedding ring. So here is my diamond ring, which is very expensive, and I can inscribe a letter, maybe P, and that's my that's the first word of my last name. So I can inscribe a letter in my wedding ring. So okay, so we use scribe a lot, and we can also say transcribe. Transcribe we use this word when we write down verbal languages. For example, you see on the newspaper when the president of the United States are addressing the nation, there are lots of reporters on the scene that are transcribing his word, basically writing down every single letters that he is speaking. That's what transcribe means. Let's move on. The next one is conscious. Okay, and this one means to be awake. So you're not sleeping, your attention is right here. I'm focused, so I'm conscious. Or to be aware. So be aware of something, to know that something is there. That's what conscious means. And when we put sub, S-U-B, in front of that one, this one becomes under. So I'm not aware, and not awake. So subconscious. So what does that mean? I mean, even though you're sleeping, your brain does not sleep completely, right? So there are many things that are happening subconsciously. So I can have a dream subconsciously, because you cannot control the plot of your dream, right? I mean, you can wish to have a nice dream. I mean, nobody wishes to have a nightmare, bad dream, right? But it happens subconsciously, without knowing or without you being aware of something that is happening, right? Okay, so we use this word a lot, subconsciously. And something that we also use a lot is not knowingly. It's one word, not knowingly, okay? We use this word a lot too. Okay, so let's move on. The next example I want to do today is sequent. And this one comes from the word sequence. Basically, sequence means time, happening one and next and right after that, so happening so chronologically. So something that is happening as time passes by. That's what sequent means. And we use the word sub in front of this one. And here, this one is secondary. So subsequent basically means happening after another event. So I can say subsequent to my marriage, I had a pregnancy. Okay, so right after my marriage, I have a baby, and I use the word subsequent. Okay, and we can put consequent, so basically con means together, so everything is happening at the same time, consequently to give a meaning of as a result. So everything is happening at the same time, and as a result of that, consequently, we decided to have something. Okay? Another example I want to do today is ordinate. Okay, ordinate comes from a word ordain or order. Everybody knows what an order is. Order are commands of words to give me directions. So I gave you orders to do your homework. I gave you orders to come here right away. And ordain means appoint. give someone a position. So that's what ordinate means. And if we put sub, S-U-B, in front of ordinate, this one becomes under. So someone who was appointed under someone else. So, and I am the boss, and I appoint someone under my position, and he becomes my subordinate, right? So subordinate has the meaning of someone who is lower in rank or position. Let's say, for example, you are a soldier, you are a private, and you meet someone who is superior, for example, a captain, then the captain will have you as his subordinate, right? And another meaning of subordinate is this one. You are taking direct orders from me, then you are my subordinate. Okay, so it's someone receiving orders from superior officer or someone who is higher in rank. That's why subordinate means. Okay, and let's move on to our next one. Our next example is with the word statute. 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 So statute basically means to set up something, to be in place, to install, to set up something. And when we say SUB, substitute, in front of that one, this substitute is pretty much the most common or the most widely used vocabulary that we have covered so far. So substitute, and this one is not under, this time it means secondary. Okay, substitute means replace. But not permanently. We use substitute to replace someone only for a short period of time. So temporarily, replace temporarily. Okay, so let's say a soccer player got injured and the coach has to send in someone to be his substitute. Okay, substitute. This one is very important. And another word that I would like to do is if we put con. Like I mentioned earlier, con means together. It becomes constitute. Very important word. It's a very big word. So let's say when the United States was first erected up, people got together, all the politicians got together, and they together statute. They set up many things. All right, the last example I want to do today is merge. M-E-R-G. Merge has many applications, and in reality, in real life, we use this word when we want to go into something. So we merged into a bigger road, another road. We merged into, I was driving in a road that is eastbound. So basically a road that is going east, and there is a huge highway that is going north. Then I merged into this highway. That's how we would use this word on our daily basis. So merge means to go into or to dip. And if we put SUB, sub, in front of this one, sub becomes under, and merge. So we are going under something, and we use this word to describe when we go under the water. So go under the water. And we can say this vehicle, this car, submerged in the water because of the flood. You know, right now, a lot of British Columbians are suffering from this heavy flooding that's been devastating their homelands, and a lot of the cars and houses were submerged. So they were covered with water. And there are several synonyms. One is flood. My car was flooded, submerged. And we can also put other prefixes to have different meanings. For example, we can put the word e. E is another powerful prefix that has the meaning outside. And emerge basically means you had something that was hidden or that was under the water, but it emerged. So, all right, let's give it a review today. So if you mix sub with all of these words that we learned today, they all became something entirely different. So if we mix sub with the word way, it became a road that goes below our average road on the ground. So it's a subway. And when we put sub in front of the word marine that had something to do with the ocean, then it became a vehicle, a boat that goes under the water, submarine. And if we put these words together, sub and standard, standard was the level of a quality of something, of an object, that it became substandard. So something was not meeting the quality, so it was below average. And when we put sub and subsidiary together, subsidiary basically meant to sit. So this one is not major, it's not my first job, but it's my second job. Subsidiary basically meant secondary. And scribe meant to write. And when you're writing under something, it meant you are receiving service from another service provider regularly. And conscious meant to be awake, to be aware of something, and you're not sub under your awareness. So dream was a subconscious activity. Sequent had the meaning of being in time, time sequence. And subsequent, sub was the meaning of secondary, so it's happening after a prior event. And ordinate had the meaning of giving orders or to appoint someone in a position. So when we combine sub and ordinate together, it became someone who is working for me. So you are my subordinate and I'm your boss. And statute meant to set up something, to form, to make up rules together. So a substitute was when I'm sick, you are my substitute. Okay? And lastly, merge was to go into something or to dip into something. So when we use these words with the word submerge, it meant to go under the water. All right, so these are one way that can make your English learning so much easier. So I wish you had good lessons with me, and I'll see you next time. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for next amazing events and lessons. Thank you. Bye-bye.